Radium, Earth's most valuable substance. The use of radium in the cure of cancers and other malignant growths is still in its experimental stages. Its effectiveness depends upon the kind of cancer, the situation of the cancer, and the promptness with which the cancer is discovered and brought under the radioactive influences. But it has been found helpful, and a number of cases have been cured by it. The demons that infest the atmosphere of our Earth now, just as they did in the days of our Lord, are said to have made the statement, either through the Ouija boards which they operate, or through the so-called spiritualist mediums whom they control, that in the discovery of radium humanity has come very close to the secret of life. Of course, these lying spirits, as the scriptures call them, cannot be trusted, and yet even a liar will sometimes tell the truth, so that he may have the greater influence when he does lie. Moreover, it does seem as though in permitting the discovery of radium the great God has let humanity peer a little farther into the secrets of the universe than has hitherto been possible. All this is an indication that the dawn of the Golden Age is breaking upon the world. The Lord is letting in the truth on all subjects at just the appropriate time. According to the record we have of the length of human life before the deluge, even under the imperfect physical conditions, where the sunlight did not have its full invigorating effect, men lived almost 1,000 years. But now, under the more perfect physical conditions which will ensue after the ice is all gone from the Arctic region, and we may reasonably expect it within 50 years if not before, after the volume of nitrogen in the air be diminished, giving a greater percentage of oxygen in the lungs to purity the blood, and the nitrogen restored to the soil to stimulate its virgin quality of animal life-giving food, great increase of medical knowledge and skill, the application of radium and other life-prolonging agencies, mankind with increasing purity of thought, word and action will life forever, the normal life of man. So we may logically say that millions now living will never die. Readers of the Golden Age may be interested to know that the use of radium curative appliances described in our columns from time to time is on the increase, and, as a rule, the results obtained are excellent. Dr. Coolidge, of Los Angeles, who was physician to Judge Rutherford during his serious illness from pneumonia in the spring of 1919, and who used the radioactive pads upon him with such good results at that time, is our authority for the statement that, in addition to the Radium Appliance Company of Cincinnati, heretofore mentioned in our columns, similar companies have opened headquarters at 1626 Arch Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and in the Marbridge Building, at Broadway and 34th Street, New York. The Golden Age is not championing any school of medicine, or any system of treatment of the sick, but when it finds something that seems to be really helpful to suffering humanity is willing to do what it can to boost it along. Dr. Coolidge is a greatly respected and very able homeopathic physician. He has used the radioactive pads with good results and writes, "I have been led into this work in the way that to me looks most natural and unavoidable. I accept it as my mission now, believing that it is one of the needs of our times and that great good will come through the knowledge and uses of radium by the Degnan method. It is so entirely rational and such benign and logical employment of a force in nature, equally potent for evil as well as good. And radium is such a force if left to haphazard chance or its natural curative properties confounded with its terrific chemical power. Radium is highly radioactive, and its immediate daughter, radon gas, is also radioactive. When ingested, 80% of the ingested radium leaves the body through the feces, while the other 20% goes into the bloodstream, mostly accumulating in the bones. This is because the body treats radium as calcium and deposits it in the bones, where radioactivity degrades marrow and can mutate bone cells. Exposure to radium, internal or external, can cause cancer and other disorders, because radium and radon emit alpha and gamma rays upon their decay, which kill and mutate cells. Radium continues to attract attention as a curative agent. Besides showing practical value in resuscitating the most delicate, it now appears that by this agent the human embryo can be dissolved at will in favor of any mother liable to die from birth throes. It is hard to forecast how this may affect race suicide. Indeed, other forces are at work toward the cessation of conception powers and the increase of sterility. Perhaps it is just as well that this is so, for the Bible is sponsor for the thought that in the coming crisis between capital and labor a large portion of mankind must perish and that the infant mortality will be terrible to contemplate. Everything points to a quick finish for the reign of evil. At the age of 15 I was compelled to leave the high school in the middle of my second year because my eyes were failing again. Specialists who carefully examined them claimed that the trouble was not granulated lids. No help was found in overcoming the weakness, the burning, and the itching of lids upon which scales formed continually and had to be removed daily until 1920, when I was 35 years of age. Then I learned of radium glasses. The result of their use was immediate. After using them for 2 weeks I have had no more itching or burning or scale formation. To me it is a miracle. My sight has also improved. The glasses above mentioned are to be obtained from the Radium Appliance Sales Company, 518, Lincoln in Court, Cincinnati, Ohio. When radium was discovered, it was marketed almost as a miracle cure. Especially in the 1920s, radioactivity was considered beneficial for the body, even though its danger was already known. Radium was sold in a wide variety of preparations, the concentration of which was so high that long-term use was often life-threatening. When Jehovah and Jesus chose the Organization of Jehovah's Witnesses as the only channel of truth in 1919, it did not even occur to them to warn the readers of the Golden Age about the dangers of radium. On the contrary, only good things were written about it. Radioactive water. The following is a new method of applying the health-giving qualities of the radium pad. After exposing the pad to the light, fill a glass jar with drinking water, fasten the pad around the jar of water, and in a few minutes the water is ready for drinking. This makes the best spring tonic to be had. It will also break up very stubborn colds, according to one of our readers. Scientists who have lately experimented with radium and its effects on insect life have found that in all cases, normal life has been prolonged 700 times. The next time Golden Age mentions radium is 10 years later, when the dangers of this substance had become known to the general public. Thus, if this had been God's only channel since 1919, it would have taken God more than 16 years to warn that radium and the radiation it emits is dangerous to human life. Since 1919, God's only channel would have published shockingly false information and mere human concepts. Neither Jehovah nor Jesus would have guided or intervened in any way. 21st Radium Poisoning Victim. The 21st radium poisoning victim has just died, leaving her husband and 2 sons. Like the other victims, she was an employee of the United States Radium Corporation, and got the radium into her system by such an apparently harmless method as moistening her radium paintbrush with her lips. She sued for $200,000. But the case was settled out of court for $100,000. Her 2 sons are practically certain to go the way of the mother unless a remedy for the progress of radium disease is found. Studies in this direction are being carried on at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where methods of gradually removing radium from the human body are being considered. Bye for now and take care.